Hey, it's Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop again, and this is third Gaslands build, and each one's getting a little bit better. It's not as easy as it looks to just rip apart a car and try to get creative, especially when you can almost do whatever the hell you want, and sometimes that flexibility is great, but the other times it can be a little overwhelming at times. So. This is a 57 Chevy. This was part of a track car set. I want to say from 2000 and probably 2007. Actually, I have the. Let me get this out of the way. Hold on a second. Not much for these tables. Excuse me. But it was a 5-car set, and they're pretty generic. It's cheap plastic. No interiors. I mean, just bare bones cars. So this was the gold one. And what I ended up doing is pretty much I left this one had a really dark black tinted window. And I don't know, I was trying something different. I tried weathering it and painting it and making it look like steel. Obviously, there's no opening. Took a little creative license with that, so I kind of made it look like brushed steel. I don't know if you can kind of see that with the camera or not, but regardless, that's what I did. For wheels, I ended up stealing it from 2 different places. The front wheels are the back wheels from this Matchbox. It's a very popular 4-car set, I think it is, for off-roads. This was one of the cars, so I took the back wheels here and put them on the front wheels here. And the back wheels are from this Mustang, which is also part of the same set. I got it taped off because I wanted to matte clear. I'm testing something, so I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison, actually doing a video on that hopefully today. But that's where the back wheels are from. The turret, or the gun, actually this rotates, and if I can do this without breaking it, this rotates 360 degrees. You can pretty much do whatever you want for an angle. It was part of it looks like Lego, but it's like a ghetto Lego set of just weapons and stuff like that. So I painted it green. It was all black. I painted it green, added a little highlights to it, and don't hit the camera. And the next thing I did is I took and hacked out the back. Let me find here it is. So I pretty much took the back window. I cut the plastic out for the window. And then what I ended up doing is I got some evergreen plastic stock. It looks like corrugated steel. So I kind of made a base, and then I just dropped it down in the back. I don't know if you can see that or not. It worked out pretty good. I did put some mesh. It's very hard to see with the camera, but I did put some mesh in there as well, some wire mesh. I popped the motor out, just kind of weathered it a little bit, added a little red highlights to it. This hole, you'll see right here, was for me drilling the base and going all the way through when I was taking the post off. It worked out good because it's dead center, and I'm actually waiting on a skull, or I ordered a bunch of stuff from Ken on the Gaslands Facebook page, and some of it's going to be some skulls, so that's going to be right here as soon as I get it. That's my goal anyways, is to finish mounting a skull there. The ram was kind of mounted using, it's not perfect, that wasn't intended to be. This is a piece of cardstock, plastic cardstock, that I just kind of cut and then just folded and then just kind of filled it with putty, but I left it sloppy so that way it kind of looked like it was just a horrible weld, you know, because this is the Gaslands, and, you know, I'm sure welders aren't It was probably stick welded, or at least the way I would stick weld. What I ended up doing is I took some plastic tube, and I drilled 2 holes. I stuck the tube through, and I just used it as a mounting way to mount to the base. And then I stuck toothpicks in, glued those, and I kind of used those as spikes. This whole thing was painted with paint from Citadel Paints. And this was my first attempt at running paint through the Citadel paints through an airbrush. They're not the Citadel airbrush paints. These are just the regular paints. And aside from spilling the blue everywhere, and I don't remember the exact color because I ended up dumping the entire bottle and I threw it away after I painted it because there was nothing left. The rest is on my rug, which I just put something over it so my wife wouldn't see it. The blue, let's see, I base coated this white, then I painted this. It's a really light, flat blue. So it's one of their base coat colors. Then what I did is I took one of their layer paints. It's like a dark brown, and I used that for the rust, and I dry brushed. And it worked out pretty well. I think the effect, especially on the roof, came out really good. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it kind of looks like it's been, weathered, and as you were driving, it would slowly, weather the paint backwards. Then I took another paint that I actually remember the name of, which is called Xandrie Dust. It's also part of their base model kit for paints. And I also dry brushed the dust and the dirt on. I did the wheels and I did the base as far as like around the wheel wells. And you got to be careful with that because you take it and you put it on your you kind of dab a little bit in and you wipe a little bit on I use a paper towel. I got a little heavy on this wheel. And I kind of left it there because it looked all right. And I just added it heavier over here on this wheel well, like you just drove through something. Again, this is the Gaslands. These cars do not have to be perfect, thank God, because my first few, I'm really, they start off good. And this came out good. I mean, I'd be proud to put this on a board. So far I've got this one. This was the first one I did, which was a 71 GTX. Definitely, I didn't have any materials really, so to speak of. And then the one I just got done not too long ago was this Aristorat. This came out really good. Actually, I think this was my best one so far. But that's it. The next video I do, I'm actually going to be doing, I'm trying to change it up a little bit now that I get some subscribers. And I appreciate everybody who's taken the time to subscribe. I'm going to be doing a step-by-step and then piecing it all together. Because sometimes these things take me all week. I don't always have time to come down here and spend hours tearing apart a model or a Hot Wheels car or multiple cars and then gluing pieces together and painting. I can't just do that all in one day. So what I've been doing is what I'm doing here, which is a review of the entire process. Just kind of what I did and what I used. But for the next build, I'm going to be doing a step-by-step. And then at the end of the build, or I might break it down into 1 or 2 or 3 parts. It all depends on how long the process takes and how much I end up talking and babbling. But, excuse me. So what I'll be doing is, for the next one, I'll be really just going through and highlighting each step of the process, not just showing you the completed end result. So hopefully you guys tune in. And once again, I do appreciate you guys that have subscribed, taking the time to actually subscribe. I mean, I know it takes a lot. I know myself personally, I'm kind of finicky on who I follow on YouTube and who I subscribe to. So it is greatly appreciated. And hopefully I can find a way to thank everybody besides just saying it verbally. But anyways, this is the 57. I don't have a name for it. It actually turned out okay, so I may come up with a name. I don't know. In the meantime, that's that. And once again, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and hope you stay tuned for the next one. Thank you.